You're listening to The Crop Report. I'm Clarence Beeks. And as I said, got a very special guest with me in the studio. My man, Nick Neezy.
Yo.
How you been, man?
I'm good, man.
Make sure you talk right into the microphone, my man. I want to make sure I hear everything you say.
I'm here.
Good. So how are you, man? Good to see you tonight.
Good, man. How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, always. Can't complain here at the Crop Report Studios. You know, trying to keep things real at all times. So yeah, thanks again for joining me, man. So we met through a friend at Full Sail, a mutual friend that we had at Full Sail.
Yeah.
And then, since then we've just been kicking it, bumping music every once in a while, things of that nature. And through that, I came to know of your kind of involvement in hip hop.
Yeah.
So just tell me a bit about yourself. You're from Nashville.
Yeah, I'm from Nashville, man, Tennessee. Born and raised. I've been in Orlando for like 3 years, I came here on going to school, about to graduate soon, get this degree under my belt and keep on pushing my music and hopefully expand,
And how old are you?
I'm 24.
24, so you're still young.
Yeah, man.
Your bio page says you're 22. But I think it was last updated like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
so
I gotta thank you for reminding me. I gotta
not to put you on blast or anything.
I gotta tweak that.
just wanted to make sure I'm getting things right in my head so I know. So you're from Nashville, and it says you've been rapping since you were 8, right?
Yeah, man.
So how did growing up in Nashville kind of expose you to music? How'd you get exposed to music, and how'd you get exposed to hip hop?
Well, I kind of got exposed to hip hop through my family. My uncles and my dad was kind of like the hip hop pioneers in Nashville. They helped bring the hip hop scene up in Nashville. My uncle's like a big DJ.
So are they from Nashville, or are they from elsewhere?
No, they're from Nashville.
Okay, so they heard about hip hop, I guess, from different parts of the country and tried to bring it.
And they kind of brought it to Nashville.
Oh, wow.
Made it like noticeable. Not like brought it to Nashville originally, but brought it to Nashville to make it like noticeable. Like how you kind of got the electronic music scene and people kind of getting hip to it now. There's people, even though it's old, it's kind of like, it was kind of like that with hip hop in Nashville.
Okay.
Like they brought it to the scene and basically just pushed it, and I got involved with it, just being around them and hearing it.
So what kind of stuff did you grow up listening to? Like what kind of stuff like would your dad throw on the CD player or whatever, on the record player?
We're talking a lot of Tupac, Biggie, Wu-Tang, you name it, man. In those 90s, I've heard it. Like I'm basically familiar with, like, if I hear the song, I can like sing it word for word. Besides, like, tell you who sings the song. Like, I might hear the song on and, like, know every word for it.
Sure, that's awesome.
I might not know who sang it, but I know the words.
Okay, we'll have to put you to the test later on, maybe. We'll have to pull something out of the vault for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So you started rapping at age of 8, as you said.
Yeah.
How is it like being an 8-year-old rapper? You don't really hear too much about little kids rapping.
Windows. Shout out to Windows sound recorder. That's like when you got the beat playing in the background and you got one take, so you got to one take this out.
Dude, I used to do the same thing. I think I tried to rap over an old school Mobb Deep track. I'm talking, must have been like 10 or 11. I just like went on Napster and I looked up hip hop, instrumental hip hop beat, and it turned out to be a Mobb Deep beat that I know it's now. Now I know it's Mobb Deep, but I remember having it playing in the background, and then I had the same thing as you, the little microphone. And say that again?
You gotta get it right. That one take. But I'm talking like,
exactly.
Like 2 songs and then that one take. Like I might pause and throw another beat on, kill it, and I got 2 tracks in one.
Complete with the like transition and you pausing it and everything. Gotta keep it real, man. But now obviously you've moved on to bigger and better ways of doing your production.
Yeah. Definitely.
Tell me a bit about Hustle Boy Click.
Oh man, Hustle Boy Click.
That was your first little hip hop crew, right?
Yeah, that was like my cousins. They kind of put together a group, and I wasn't even originally supposed to be in this group because of my age. So it's like they put me in a group, and I was like in the 5th grade. And all my cousins are like 3 years older than me, so they're all in high school.
Middle school, high school, yep.
So I'm in the 5th grade, and I'm doing shows at teen clubs. And coming back to school and telling my people in the 5th grade, and they're thinking I'm lying. But I'm like, I just did a show.
So you would go into like what, 21 plus clubs as like a 10-year-old kind of thing?
Kind of like a teen club, like 16, 17.
It's like an all ages type thing, but you're 10. And you're rapping on stage.
I was pretty young.
Wow.
That's a dope experience, though.
So it seems that you have like a lot of family members, you know, as you said, your father, uncle, and I guess at this point your cousins that kind of, you know, helped foster and develop hip hop. Are they still doing stuff?
Yeah. Shout out to my cousin DJ Raw Tune. He's kind of like that's my like my go-to guy for music. Like he's always been there for me. He's like killing the DJ scene in Nashville right now. Very big. And yeah, man, just my family, like they kind of involved in like everything that I do musically, and they're
still supportive of your stuff.
Very supportive.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
it's good to have you know, that solid backbone from which to develop.
Yeah,
and it seems like, you know, as you said, with your father and your uncle kind of introducing hip hop into Nashville. You know, as you say, it's nice that you have that foundation from which to start from.
Yeah,
and I mean, a lot of like big rappers and stuff like that, if you're a producer, you're a rapper, the first thing you had was what your parents listened to.
Yeah.
The same thing with me growing up. I listened to Bollywood music for like the first 8 years of my life, man. I'm not even lying. It wasn't until like I was 7th and 8th grade, I was like, oh, someone was talking about the Beatles, and I had to ask my parents what the Beatles was. So I had to figure out everything myself, and I have no chip on my shoulder about it, but it's nice. It's always nice to hear that like people's parents have good taste in music too, and no disrespect to Bollywood stuff.
That's what you grow up to. Your parents, you wake up in the morning to your parents blasting Tupac or something like that. Like you gotta get hip to it.
Yo, for sure.
You gotta get used to listening to that when you wake up.
Hell yeah, man. So you were in Hustle Boy Clique. That was with your cousins and stuff, and then the group eventually kind of dissolved.
Yeah,
everyone went their own way.
Everybody kind of went their own way. We're still close. We're family. You know what I'm saying? But everybody kind of went their own way.
But it was kind of like a springboard, if you will, to like kind of get your quote unquote career started, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
And after that, I just kind of killed the solo scene ever since. I just been dropping music like ever since. Like I put out 6 mixtapes, 7 mixtapes since. So that's kind of been always working.
Hell yeah,
trying to stay busy.
That's the way you got to do it. You can't really. Even if you're not releasing your mixtapes, as long as you're recording stuff, and you're keeping things, you got to stay active.
Yeah.
You got to keep making music because you might not want to release it even, but that's how you grow as a musician. I'm assuming. Yeah. Especially with any kind of music, whether it's electronic or hip hop or jazz, those cats don't stop practicing and stop recording and listening to themselves. So it's a good thing. How'd you end up in Orlando?
Well, Full Sail brought me here originally.
You're another Full Sail.
I'm a Full Sailer, man.
Another Full Sailer. Yeah, I've had a few of them on the show. How has that kind of helped your musical career? Has it taught you a lot being there?
Yeah. Honestly, a lot of people say Full Sail is blah blah blah. I'm not even gonna get into it, but from my standpoint, I respect it a lot because it kind of opened up doors that I didn't know I can open. I guess you can say, like, taught me stuff that I knew, but it like turned the switch back on in the back of my mind. Like, oh, I knew that, but I didn't know that it could do that. You know what I'm saying? Type of situation.
Is that in terms of what, just software? Or in terms of
just listening to stuff. They kind of taught me how to play the piano.
Oh, nice.
A little bit. I know my keys.
Yeah, that's definitely important, and it's definitely, I think, something that a lot of rappers, even musicians in general, like I grew up with tons of dudes that played music, like in bands in high school, quote unquote, and they couldn't play a scale to save their life, or they couldn't identify a key if it was major, minor. So I think a lot of people neglect that training, and it's kind of it's actually extremely useful, especially if you're a producer.
Useful, very useful. Like listening to something and knowing what key it's in, like so you could mix within that key. Because I also mix my music. So it's like I listen to I look for a certain sound. So like when I'm mixing something, I want to make sure that the sound tweaks what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So
you have like an idea in your head of what you want it to sound like. That's good.
Yeah.
It's definitely makes things a lot easier. Do you produce your own stuff too?
I'm not gonna say that. I kind of got like a big input on the production. Like one of my producers is my boy K. we kind of sit down and put a lot of stuff together, and I'm like, when the tracks are like being like bounced down or like put into an actual song, I'm like kind of sitting right there and like picking where the verse and the hook should be. But as far as like picking the sounds, nah, I'm way out the picture. Like I gave that up.
No, I got you, man. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. I've definitely heard some of K's stuff before, some of his own beats and some of his stuff that he's done for you. Good producer for sure. We'll try to get him on here at some point in the near future. He's somewhere around here, I think. I don't know where, but no, but it's good that like has moving away from moving away from Nashville rather to Orlando. Has that changed your music at all in terms of what it sounds like? You kind of still keeping it with the original kind of Nashville sort of vibe?
Yeah. I mean, the sound is always going to be the same. It's just like growth, like from what I've been doing. Excuse me. But as far as you said, like the Nashville sound, I always try to keep it there. Like, believe it or not, a lot of people say like I got like a New York type sound.
Really?
I get that a lot.
Here's the thing that I've always like, because like when I think of New York hip hop and stuff, and I've mentioned this on the show before, like when I was growing up in the 90s, I mean, I'm not too far off in age from you. So like when I was growing up and I was listening to a lot of this stuff, like your Biggie or Wu-Tang or whatever my older cousins were playing, there was that very specific boom bap sort of sound. And it seems like now a lot of the New York cats are trying to emulate the South. So it's really interesting that when you say that people say I sound like I'm from New York, to me it's like you sound like the farthest thing from it.
I get that, man. It kind of blows me away too. Like the first person who hit me with that is like, you got like a New York type sound with you, and I'm like, really? He's like, I'm from Nashville. I'm from Tennessee. He's like, no, you sound like you from New York. So I just take it in, I guess.
Yeah, when I started hearing like A$AP Rocky and all these, what these dudes, and they're from Harlem, and I'm just like, this is like a completely different sound. Yeah. It seems like dudes from New York tried to go as far away from that as possible. Yeah. I was always really interested in why that happened. I haven't really been able to figure it out, but I just think it's funny that someone thought that you were from there.
That's wild.
Again, we're here with Nick Neezy, a local rapper here in Orlando. Gonna play some of your tracks right now, really quickly, cool. And then we'll come back in the second half and we'll talk some more. We'll talk about some more of your projects and stuff. Cool. Let me see what we got here. All right, Black Carpet. Anything you want to say about this track? This is some unreleased stuff, right?
This is all unreleased music that I'm gonna play. This is probably gonna be on a mixtape. I'm like debating between the two names right now. Mm-hmm. I'll give them to you though. We got Stuff Happens, hint hint, and then we got Battery Life 3 coming.
I appreciate you censoring yourself. It saves me a lot of time.
Yeah, we got Battery Life 3 that's gonna come too. And Black Carpet is produced by my boy K. He's from North Carolina, you know what I'm saying? We recorded the track in Orlando, mixed it, produced it, mastered it, you name it, we did it.
Tell me I'm looking at the chat here and the stream page I've got going. This is Marley Young is saying money recognize money.
Yeah.
What I've seen that name come up a lot in you know, on your Bandcamp, etc. Is that your production team or like, what is that exactly?
That's kind of like the whole label.
Okay.
That's kind of behind me. It's like a family ordeal we got going.
And you're kind of at the overseeing it all?
I mean, I wouldn't say
you're like the de facto leader, kind of like RZA's the leader of the Wu-Tang sort of thing.
We got other artists, such as my boy Doughboy, Free Doughboy. And I mean, you got some legal situations. Exactly. K's arrived.
Oh, K's here. And maybe we can get him on the microphone.
Yeah, man, we got Vitae, and we got a few other artists, but Money Recognizing Money is kind of like the whole label behind what I do. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of that's the brand that I push.
Awesome, man. It's a cool name. Is it because you can abbreviate MRM, all that good stuff? Yeah. All right. Without further ado, we'll get to some music from my man Nick Neezy. This is some unreleased stuff. No one's ever heard this before.
Nah.
Except for a couple people, and now whoever's listening. So this is Black Carpet. Again, I'm here in the studio with a good friend, Nick Neezy.
Yo, yo.
You doing okay there? You hanging in?
Yeah, that was a late delay right there.
Make sure you talk right into the mic, my man.
Yeah,
I want to make sure everybody hears you out there.
For sure.
Sweet, dude. So, when are we, or I guess when can we expect some new music from you?
I can say July is a good month for me.
So this month, or July of 2017?
This month, I got a birthday coming up on the 18th, and like for the last 2 years, I've released something on my birthday. So,
all right.
The July 18th, just keep your ears open.
Where can people go to check you out?
nickneezy.bandcamp.com has all of my latest projects, mixtape wise. Songs that I've dropped recently are on my SoundCloud at Nick Neezy. And Nick Neezy everything. Just, you know what I mean, Instagram, Twitter.
It's really easy
Facebook.
when you can just like get that username for all the different things.
Get it.
Yeah,
Keep
man.
it going.
I know a buddy of mine that has an issue with that. He has to, because one has an S, one doesn't have an S because he couldn't get it or something. I don't know. There's too many characters. I don't know. But that's dope, man.
Yeah.
Be sure to, if you guys are interested, so you definitely know where to find them. I'll put some stuff up on the Facebook page as well, so people can know where to get at you if they want to listen to some more of your music.
Get at me.
I definitely dug what you played earlier. What sort of like influences have you had in hip hop? I mean, like, I know you were telling me about how your father and your uncle kind of brought hip hop to Nashville. What kind of stuff did you grow up listening to? What kind of stuff specifically do you draw influence on when you're making your music?
It's crazy because like I was just talking to my cousin about what I listened to coming up, and like I was saying, like I could hear an old song and not know who sings the song, but I know every lyric to the song. So it's crazy. But coming up, I can say that I kind of got like a old soul because I listen to a lot of old music. Like I like to wake up and listen to old music and like throwback songs. But artists, I kind of gotta say I listen to like a lot of Wu-Tang. Like Wu-Tang was kind of big in my household. You might see a Wu-Tang shirt just laying around.
But it was kind of just like in the background, not really like, you weren't really like looking at the track names or anything like that, or really getting too deep into it.
Nah, I just knew the Wu-Tang logo.
Okay.
That stood strong.
Well, that's all you need sometimes, man. You know. But no, I definitely, a lot of your lyrics are about, just coming up and the struggle and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, maybe it's possible you draw on some sort of real world inspiration or something like that. I mean, you kind of got to have to go through some stuff to be able to write about stuff and be able to tell stories and things of that nature. Sure. Cool, man. Well, I was really glad to have you on the show. We can get you back in whenever you're putting stuff out, or maybe next time we can have you freestyle on the air or something.
Yeah, for sure. I'll give y'all some next time, man.
All right, sweet. Maybe we can have Kay hop on the mic as well.
Yeah, man. Kay's probably come out. I'm gonna make him we gonna mic him up next time.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out a way to coax him out of his little shell over there. Make sure. I don't know. I'm kind of interested in hearing a little bit about his production style. Yeah. Definitely dig that.
He has a lot of production coming up on the next tape, and be looking out for a tape. He's most likely going to produce like all the tracks on it, so he's going to be around.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'll definitely be keeping my ears peeled.
Yeah.
Gonna play some more of your stuff right now. Again, man, thanks for coming on. It was a blast.
Cool, man. Thanks.
We had a good time just kicking it in the studio. Yeah, man, anytime, as I said. All right, so we'll do 2 tracks. Perfect Shot, produced by Snizzy on the beat.
Shout out my boy Snizzy on the beat, man.
Yeah, is anyone else you want to shout out while you're at it?
Shout out the whole Money Recognized Money family. My brother Marley, my cousin DJ Raw Tunes, all the fam back home, man. My boy Loso, Trail, you know what I'm saying? My boy Paid. Shout out my peoples, man. Y'all know y'all are.
All right, man, you're approaching your time limit. I was about to cut you off.
Let's do it.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, this is Perfect Shot, and then we'll hear a K-produced track. Shout out to K. Up, I believe it's called.
Yeah, Up is, y'all gonna be familiar with Up soon.
All right, sweet. So without further ado, let's get this started. Nick, thanks for coming on again, man. You're welcome anytime. This is Perfect Shot.
Straight up.
Keep it locked here on the Crop Report, WPRK 91.5.